So birds are communicators, major communicators, like even chickens have, they say, like 30 different things that they say, right? 30 different, which is, you sure wouldn't imagine that with all the clucking to us sounds like, what the hell are they doing? And then there's this thing with birds around parenting, and the social instinct really is, among other things, the parenting instinct. And like we have phrases like, when somebody really is going to take someone under their wing, they're going to mother hen that person, right? So, and then you've got stuff like, again, phrases that pop in like putting on airs, right? So there's air, right? And that would be a social thing, to put on airs, right? You're playing the role of somebody that's at a certain position of height, and maybe you might even be adorning yourself in the clothes of somebody that's higher than your social status is. Also, one thing with birds is there's just tons and tons of birds that have these amazing hats. I call them, they're hats to me. Some of you know birds, and there's just, I mean, the number of different crests, hats, is just, it's amazing. And one thing that you see with birds just really often with all of these exotic birds, and there are many, many hundreds of them, is that they, besides hats, they actually have collars, right? Or just something that differentiates. So it's almost like wearing a suit and tie or something like that. I mean, a pretty exotic, colorful suit and tie. But there's that thing of somehow making noble this upper space, which again, this would be the furthest up into the air, again, air, that you could be, right? And think about how we have words like white collar and blue collar workers as a designation of social position in the pecking order. Pig. So pig for earth, self-preservation, again, another one where there's a bunch of stuff in the language already. Piggy bank, where you put your money. Bring home the bacon, bring home the money, the resources, everything to sustain the square box made of things. Where you put your things in, this means solid. Pigs have the capacity to put on weight, a particular capacity, probably, I think we would say, as compared to a snake or a rooster. And that's an element of self-preservation, is this thing of people collecting things and more things and more things and more things and getting weighted down by things. And part of that thingness is a sense that the next thing is somehow going to be the answer. You know, there's a lot of sort of generic materialism examples of, you know, oh, that's my dream car, and, you know, you have plans to get this car or this guitar or certain size television set, just all of that stuff, right? Stuff. And then another symbol there with the pig and earth is that the pig has 4 feet. So it's got 4, it's quadruply touching earth, connecting into earth. Self-preservation earth. Rooster, 2 feet, 2 wings, right? So there's some capacity in social to be attached to earthly desire, even as you want to go up the ladder. Earthly desire meaning all kinds of things. Position, status, making a name for yourself, being seen a certain way. Okay, so another thing that this is coming off of some of maybe the lesser known Riso Hudson stuff. It's not in the books anywhere, but something Russ has been teaching is this idea of these zones within the instincts, and there being 3 zones within the instincts. Something about that rung true to me intuitively, and it occurred to me at some point a few years ago that it could be the instincts within the instincts. So this is from my instinct cards. This is the sexual instinct card. Maybe you can see it in the dark. But I've got 3 zones in there. I've got the first one's called First Spark, which is ruled by sexual as a subzone. This one's called Manifestation Competition Zone, and that's ruled by social. And then I've got the Surrender Immersion Zone, which is ruled by self-preservation. And what I'm suggesting is that there's a portal within each instinct for each of the other instincts to arise. And this is how also, maybe this is an element of how they interpenetrate each other, is that these are portals for them to be snaking in and out of each other. So here's one thing about snake. All over the world, in every continent, there are myths, cosmic origin myths or origin of mankind myths, etc., that start with a snake. It's like all over the place. All these cosmologies, mythologies. There's a snake at the beginning of the world. Egypt, the Norse gods, China, the Mayans, snakes, Africa, all over the place. So part of what I'm saying on all of these, my sexual card, social, self-pres, all 3, the subzone, that is the sexual subzone, is always at the top. That there's a rulership in some ways that instinct has over the whole thing, in the sense that, like John mentions in his article on the instincts, libidinal energy of the libido, charged by libido juice, there's another good water, sexual. It is part of what charges the psyche. Sexual just is at the origin, at the conception. Conception happens because sex happens. Conception as in reproduction, and conception as in the beginning of things, right? And just like all these mythologies have the snake at the beginning, and think about a sperm cell. Looks like a snake, a heat-seeking snake. So, again, back to the 3, again, I'll call them portals just for this angle. Scientists say that everything is a wave, right? And so everything is a serpent. Think about also DNA. It's a double serpent, right? And you even have these Chinese gods that were responsible for the creation of humanity. And look at them, they're intertwined like DNA snakes, and it's androgynous, male, female, and they were at the beginning of the world before humanity arrived. So, portals where the instincts, as they would with any organic thing, the instincts aren't going to be separated into compartments somehow, right? They're going to be doing some stuff, right? Snaking. One thing I'm saying with this, and you'll see that there are arrows going between those circles, and there's a specifically going this way on this, right? It's not going this way. And one of the things that I think I've discovered in all of this is that this pattern kind of rules everything, all cycles of everything.